Hello students. So today we are going to start with our superposition theorem. So let's first read its statement and then we are going to solve the numerical based on the statement. So it says that in any linear network containing more than two sources. Now just see here, there are two sources. Source number one, that is a current source, and source number two, that is a voltage source. So it says that if in any network there are more than two sources, the response in any element, let's say that I want to know the current in this 3 ohm resistor, so that becomes an element. Any resistor or capacitor or inductor, if that is a AC circuit, then that becomes the element in which we want to know the current is equal to the algebraic sum of the responses caused by the individual sources. That means we have to consider as many cases as the number of sources present. So because there are two number of sources present, one is a current source of 5 amperes and the other is a voltage source of 20 volts. So we are going to consider two cases. Case 1 will be when I am going to consider only our 5 ampere current source, and what we are going to do is we are going to replace our other source. That means if I am going to consider 5 ampere source, then I have to replace my this 20 volt source with a short circuit that we have already discussed in our previous lecture. So similarly, the case 2 will become when we are going to consider our 20 volt source, and what to do with our this 5 ampere source then. Now the 5 ampere source will be replaced by its internal resistance, that means a open circuit, right? So now we are going to solve over this numerical to find out the current in our 3 ohm resistor. So now I have taken case 1 as this and drawn the circuit according to the case 1. I have circuited 20 volts and considered only 5 amperes. So now we have got two methods to find the value of current in our this branch. The very first one is our current division rule, and the second one will be to go for your nodal analysis. So we will be doing both to know the value of the current. So current division rule we are going to just apply here, as we already talked that if the total current IT is passing in two branches R1 and R2, then the value of current, if we want to know I1, will be equal to total current multiplied by opposite branch resistance divided by R1 plus R2. So now this total current is going till here, and then it has got two resistors to get divided to. So that means one is our 5 ohm resistor and second is our 3 ohm resistor. We want to know the current in our this 3 ohm. So that means my this thing will be equal to 5, while my this IT will be 5 and my R1 plus R2 will be equal to 5 plus 3, that is 8, because it is the sum of these two resistors, right? So this becomes equals to 25 divided by 8. So now we want to know the current because of our 20 volts. So for that, I'm going to open my this 5 amperes. This becomes my case 2. I'll just take the case 2 here, that considering only 20 volt source and open circuit our 5 amperes. So now this is my current in this direction because of my 5 ampere source. So for 20 volts, you can just see that when the current is coming from my 20 volts, after coming here, it is finding infinite resistance in this open circuit. So whole of this current will flow towards this, right? So the total current that is going to pass through here will be the total current in this whole loop. So that makes it to be, so let's say that this is I3 dash and this is I3 that we have taken. So I3 dash will be equals to 20 divided by 8. So because both the currents are in the downward direction, so according to the polarity, both of the currents will get added up in our 3 ohm branch. So that means my total I3 current will be equal to, let's say this is I3 dash and this is double dash. So it will be equal to I3 dash plus I3 double dash. So that makes it to be 25 by 8 plus 20 by 8, making it to be 45 by 8 as the complete answer. So that makes it equal to 5.625 amperes. So now the same value of this current I3, this current I3, this is not here, this is 5.625 here. So this value we are going to find with our nodal analysis. So you can apply whichever method you find to be easy. So now we are going to first discuss the basics of nodal analysis. If you have any doubt, you can just leave your message after this video so that if you have any doubt, I can take it up in my next lecture. So when we apply nodal analysis, see the diagram. I have taken this circuit diagram. We consider the number of nodes will be having their voltages at this. So for nodal analysis, we always apply KCL at the nodes. Mind it, the value is always in form of current. KCL is the Kirchhoff's current law. So when we talk about VA, let's say we have got some node here. And when we talk about current, let's say this is I1, I2, and let's say this is I3. So the incoming currents will be equal to the outgoing. So that means I3 will be equal to I1 plus I2. Similarly, we are going to apply the current at this node, right? So let's say that this is my incoming current and these are my outgoing current. So how we write down our this nodal equation at node VA. So firstly, we will be writing at node VA. It will be VA minus voltage, that is this one. It will be given like it will be 10 or whatever, only VA will be unknown, right? So VA minus V will be equal to the difference between these two voltages. So divided by this R1 is going to provide me the current in my this branch. Let's say this is I1. So that will be equal to VA, because there is no voltage source over here. So that means VA upon R2 will be the current in my this branch I2. And this I3 will be equal to, now there are two voltages that we have considered. So it will be equal to, when we are considering VA, so the next voltage of node will be subtracted from this VA divided by the resistance between these two nodes. So this will make as equation 1. So now for our second node for VB, it will be written as, now because we are considering VB, so it will be VB minus VA divided by R3 plus VB divided by R4, and this whole will be equal to my this current, because it is given in terms of current only. The current source is given and we are writing these equations in current form only. So if a current source is present, we need not take VB by R5 here because the current has already been given. So by solving these two equations, we can know the value of the current in any branch, because once we get the value of VA and VB, we can know current in any branch. Like if I know VA, what will be the current I2? It will be like, if it is 10 divided by R2, it will be I2, right? So now we are going to apply the same thing in our this current problem. So now let's consider, because there is only a single node, so there will be this equation only. So now it will be equal to VA minus 20 divided by 5 plus VA divided by 3 will be equal to 5 amperes. Now we will be solving over this equation because there is only one unknown, so only one equation is there. So now we will be solving over this equation in terms of VA. So now I have separated these terms, and now I will be adding my these two VA terms here. So that makes it to be VA upon 5. VA taking common, 1 upon 5 plus 1 upon 3 will make it to be 8 by 15. So now to calculate the value of VA, my this thing is going to go towards the other side. That becomes equal to 9 into 15 divided by 8. So this is the value of our VA. So that is coming out to be 16.875. So now I want to know the current in my this branch. So it will directly be equal to VA divided by 3 will be equal to the value of the current I3. So that is going to give me the value 6.875 divided by 3. That is again coming out to be the same as we calculated in our previous method. The question is same and the answer in 3 ohms is also same. No doubt whatever method we are going to apply. So that is only your choice. So now I hope that you will be able to solve your this numerical by using your superposition theorem. So it is your wish that you want to go for your current division rule or you want to apply your nodal analysis method. The answer will come out to be same. What you have to do is you have to find the current in your 20 ohms resistance. In this branch, you have to find the current. So now we come on to our maximum power transfer theorem. So you all must have read that when the source resistance becomes equals to the load resistance, maximum power gets transferred. But when we talk about our this thing, this condition, the circuit should be in its Thevenin form first. That means if a circuit is in this complex form, you need to convert it into its Thevenized form, and only then you can calculate the value of P max that will be now equals to I square RL, where this I square RL, this I will be calculated with Thevenin's voltage, not this voltage. This is the main mistake that most of the students do. They take the voltage of the original complex circuit, but you have to take the Thevenin's circuit voltage. So it will be equal to V Thevenin divided by RS plus RL the whole square multiplied by RL. So this is going to provide you the maximum power. Both of the formulas you can use to calculate the maximum power. So now let's start the numerical based on the maximum power transfer theorem. So now this is our numerical one for our maximum power transfer theorem. We have to find the value of RL first and then the maximum power delivered to the load. So for this, as I already told you, that we have to apply our Thevenin's theorem. So our very first step is to calculate the value of our RAB, right? So we are going to remove over this, and these are my AB terminals and we have to look through these terminals. So let's draw it again by short circuiting our 50 volt source and redrawing the circuit. So these are my AB terminals. So looking through the terminals, what I have got is that my this whole resistance gets divided into two parts. One is my 3 ohm and the rest is my total this path. So now further, this is my 2 ohm resistor, then is my 5 ohm, and then is my 10 ohm. So further, when the current goes in this thing, it gets divided into these two parts. So that makes it to be 10 in parallel with 5, then in series with 2, and then the whole combination will be in parallel with 3. So this is going to be the value of my RAB. So this comes out to be 1.92 ohms. So now keeping this aside, we are going to find out the value of our VThevenin. So as we have to find the value of VThevenin, as I already told you that you have to move your pen from A to B, whatever comes in this path, you have to take the voltage drop across that. So now because only 3 ohm resistor is coming there, so now we need to calculate the current in our 3 ohm branch multiplied by the 3 ohms resistor. So now we will be finding the current in 3 ohms. So for that, we need to find out the total current here first. After finding this total current, then we can divide the current further to know the value of the current in our 3 ohms resistor. So for that, I can rub my these open branches here. These branches can be rubbed because these are open and there will be no current that is going to go from my 50 volt source towards the AB terminals. So now if you just check out here, you are going to find that my this 3 and 2, because whatever current is going here will go here. So that indicates that my these two are in series. So that makes it to be 3 plus 2, that is 5 ohms. Now 5 ohm and 5 ohm are in parallel because the current that comes here gets divided into two parts. So that makes 5 in parallel with 5 equals to 2.5 ohms. And then this whole thing will get in series with my 10 ohms, because this will be equivalent to 10 ohms, and here the parallel combination of 5 and 5 makes it to be 2.5 ohms. So that means the total resistance will be 12.5. So to know the total current, it will be equal to to know the total current, it will be equal to 50 divided by the total resistance, that is 12.5. That will be the value of the current that is coming here. So here again we have to divide it into two equal values, because this is also 5 ohm and this total is also 5 ohms. So the value of IT comes out to be, so that gives us the value of 4 amperes as the total current, and as it divides in two equal branches of resistance equally, so that means here also 2 ampere current will go. So putting the value of I3 as 2 amperes multiplied by 3 gives us the value of V Thevenin as 6 volts. So now let's draw our Thevenin circuit. So now we have got our Thevenin's voltage at 6 volts and our source resistance or R Thevenin as 1.92 ohms. So for maximum power, we know that our this RS should be equal to RL. So now we got the value of RL as 1.92. Now our next step is to calculate the value of P max, that I already told you is equal to I square RL. So putting the value of I square, so that becomes V Thevenin upon RS plus RL whole square, because I'm putting the value of I square only here, multiplied by the value of RL. So this gives me the value as 6 divided by 1.92 plus 1.92 multiplied by 1.92, and this whole thing's square is there. So calculating the value of this power, so it gives me the value of 1.56 the whole square multiplied by 1.92, that comes out to be 4.67 watts as the value of maximum power. So now we come on to last numerical based on your maximum power transfer theorem, and that is very important also. So now in our this numerical, we have to find the value of RL for maximum power to be delivered to it, and then to find the value of the maximum power. So our first step is to Thévenize our this whole circuit. So to get the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, we need to calculate the very first thing as RAB. For RAB, I will be removing my this RL and redrawing the circuit by shorting down my 100-volt source. So drawing it will give me the value as the circuit as this thing. These are my A and B terminals now that have got open. This is my 10, this is 20, this is 30, and this is 40 ohms. And this has got shorted out. So if you just pay attention to this thing, when I am going to pass the current in the A terminal, what I am going to get is a division here. Our current will divide in two parts, that making our 10 and 30 in parallel. Similarly, when it will be coming back here, it will come from your 20 as well as 40. Two different parts are there. So that makes our 20 and 40 in parallel. So I am drawing my this circuit again. So can I draw my this shorted path that is outside my these 2 points just by joining my these points internally? And then can I take my these two A and B terminals outside? Taking out these two wires outside will make my circuit to look like this. That I am going to draw again. So I have just done the changes here only for your convenience. So now I will be drawing it. Now we know that my 10 and 30 are in parallel. Then my this point gets joined up, and then I have got again the parallel combination of 20 and 40 ohms. So that gives me the RAB value as the parallel combination of 10 and 30 in series with the parallel combination of 20 and 40. That gives me the value of 7.5 plus 13.33 equals to 20.83 ohms. So this is the value of my RAB. So the next thing we are going to find out is the value of my VAB. So again, I have drawn it a little in a different way so that it is easily visible to you all that my these AB terminals, again, if you just see, it is same as that bridge that we have just seen, that the current is getting divided here, and similarly it is coming from here till here. The only thing is that I have just modified the look of my this circuit. So now if you just see that if I rub my these open terminals, because I don't require them for now. So if you just see here, my this 100 volts is acting in parallel with these two branches. So that means 100 volts will be there across this branch as well as across this branch. But then my this 100 volt will get divided between 10 and 30 ohms, and similarly between 20 and 40 ohms. So now I have to define the equation for my VAB, that is the V Thevenin. So these are my AB terminals. I have to move my pen from A to B. So that makes it to be V10 plus V20 with polarity. I have to check. Similarly, when I move from A to B, it will be equal to V30 and V40. So now we have to check the polarity. How we check it? The current goes from 100 volts. When it enters 10 volt, it will be positive, negative, positive, negative. Similarly here. So now when we are going from here, I have taken a negative sign first. So that means my V10 will be negative. So negative, positive, and then positive negative will make it to be subtractive, so they will get subtracted from one another. Similarly, when I am going to go from here to here, so this is positive negative, negative positive. So now my this thing will come out to be V30 minus V40. So that means they will be added subtractively. The polarity is opposite. So the only thing now we need to know is the voltage drop across them. So if I draw my this first circuit, can I draw it like this because they are in parallel, and then because A and B terminals are open, so now here 10 and 30 will be in series. So I can directly apply my voltage division rule to find out the value of V10 as well as V30. This is my 100 volts. So my voltage division rule says that if I want to know the value of V10, it will be equal to total voltage multiplied by the resistance across whose drop is to be calculated divided by the sum of the two resistances, that is 40 here. So it will be 1000 divided by 40. Similarly, the value of V30 will be equal to 100 into 30 divided by 40. That makes it to be 300 by 4. And similarly, we are going to write down the values of my V20, and then we are going to put the values here to calculate the value of VAB. So V20 again will be equal to 100 into 20 divided by 20 plus 40 will be 60. So it will be this thing. Similarly, our V40, 100 into 40 divided by 60. So now we will be putting the values here and then we will be calculating it. So now calculating the value of 100 by 4, it gives us the value of 25, and now V20, 200 by 6 provides us the value of 33.33. Putting the value in our this equation will provide us with this equation, and so the VAB will come out to be 8.33 volts. We can also cross verify it by going along the next path that gives us the value of V30 minus V40. So here V30, that is 300 by 4, gives us the value of 75 volts, while V40 gives us the value of 66.66. So this gives me again the same value. So now my Thevenin circuit will be having 8.33 volts in series with 20.83. That was the value of our RAB. So for maximum power to be transferred to the load, the value of RL should be 20.83 again. So now we have to find out the maximum value of the power delivered to it. That again becomes equal to I square into RL. So I square, again, mind it, we have to put the value of the voltage from the Thevenin circuit, not from the original circuit that was 100 volts there. So you all need to put the value of 8.33 divided by 20.83 plus 20.83 the whole square multiplied by 20.83. That gives me the value as 0.833 watts as the maximum power delivered to the load. So hopefully you have understood it. So there is a last numerical for you to have as homework, and that you need to do by yourself by looking to this question. Same question of the bridge is there, but with some different values of the resistances. So this is your homework numerical, in which I have just changed the value of the 4 arms of the bridge, that is 10 and 20 I have made. So you have to find the value of this RL for maximum power to be delivered, and then you have to find the value of the maximum power. That's all for now. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching.